The UK and the European Union appear to be on the brink of finalising a new deal on post-Brexit trading rules covering Northern Ireland and the Republic.
I think the talks on reforming the protocol are inching towards a conclusion. Certainly the deal isn't done yet.
Anger and poor organisation mars Nigeria's closest elections in recent memory as millions vote for a new president. China fails to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine, causing tensions at a meeting of the G20 major economies. And marchers in Sydney's gay and lesbian Mardi Gras are joined by their Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, in a first of its kind.
Most importantly, though, for the people of Australia, and that everyone should be respected for who they are. And tonight's a celebration of that.
Turkish officials investigate more than 600 people over substandard buildings that collapsed during this month's earthquakes. International aid agencies continue to focus on helping survivors.
Some of these guys have been flying over 1,000 hours since the earthquake struck. They say they will continue to keep going as long as aid is needed.
Just before we go, some movie news. The French film On the Adamant has been awarded the Golden Bear for Best Film at the Berlin Film Festival. The award is considered the festival's top prize. It was given to French director Nicolas Philibert's documentary, which is about a floating daycare centre for adults with mental disorders on the banks of the River Seine in Paris. And the director used his winner's speech to highlight the film's work to improve the image of those with mental illnesses.
We do not always distinguish very clearly between patients and carers, and that's fine. I try to reverse the image that we always have of mad people, so discriminating, so stigmatizing. I wanted us to be able, if not to identify with them, at least recognize what unites us beyond our differences, something like a common humanity, the feeling of being part of the same world.
Really looking forward to seeing that. Congratulations to them. And how about this? The Berlin Festival's award for youngest ever winner went to 8-year-old Sofia Otero, who plays a transgender child in the film 20,000 Species of Bees. Congratulations to her, to all the winners.
And tens of thousands of people have held demonstrations across Israel against planned legal reforms. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, insists his government is carrying out the will of the people. The proposed changes would give ministers the power to appoint Supreme Court judges and would end the court's ability to review or annul legislation on constitutional matters. The French President Emmanuel Macron says that a long-delayed trade deal between the EU and a group of 4 South American countries can't go ahead unless they follow European environmental policies. French farmers fear competition from the Mercosur countries if they are not subject to the same environmental standards. And protests have been held in the Tunisian capital, Tunis, against a speech by the president calling sub-Saharan migrants illegal hordes. The demonstrators accused President Kais Saied of racism and called on him to apologise. The African Union has strongly condemned what it described as radicalised hate speech aimed at fellow Africans. A Russian spacecraft on a mission to bring back to Earth a crew stranded on the International Space Station has successfully docked there. The Russian Soyuz capsule, which has no crew, will eventually bring back 2 cosmonauts and an American colleague. They've been stranded since the capsule that was intended to make the return journey began leaking coolant.
A Russian spacecraft has docked with the International Space Station as part of a mission to bring home 3 stranded astronauts. The uncrewed vehicle will bring back 2 Russians and an American who've been stuck since their return vessel began leaking coolant. They were originally only supposed to stay until the end of March. They'll now have to wait until September to come back to Earth.
3,000 tickets for the Eurovision Song Contest in May are being made available to Ukrainians living in the UK. The event will take place in Liverpool, which will host it on behalf of Ukraine, who won last year. The UK government has announced £10 million in funding for the contest to cover operational costs and to ensure it truly showcases Ukrainian culture.